Welcome to this BEC podcast. My name is Rasmus Bæk, and today with me two gentlemen, two English gentlemen, Ben Lane, Sean Vendy. Welcome to you guys.
Thank you.
Guys, we've known each other for quite some years now, and you were two quite young guys when I met you the first time in Belgium a few years ago. Sean, now a little down the road. What's the situation currently for you and Ben? I assume that you guys are pretty happy at the moment.
Yeah, you know, I feel like in the last maybe year or two, we've like found our feet, if you could say that. Obviously, the first time we met, we were upcoming, trying to get on the big stage. You know, we were still playing the like small tournaments, and we still are a bit. But I feel like now we've kind of almost made a mark. Like, yeah, all right, we are like a pair to be, you know, like reckoned with. So yeah, obviously we're happy with the track that we're going, and we just got to keep progressing.
Ben, when did you guys find out, okay, this is not just a test phase anymore, now it's actually, this is what we focus on?
Yeah, I think like Sean said, we've played together for so many years. I think since I first met Sean when I was like 8, so like just in the England circuit. And then we started playing together probably under 15, so 8 or 9 years now. And yeah, like, you know, like Sean said, it's only really been the last year or so where we've gone, okay, you know, we're now can beat most pairs. We're at a good level now. You know, we had All England before COVID, which was, again, we played the Japanese pair, who went on to win the tournament, but it was almost like we're not there yet. And then since we've played again after COVID, it's like we can now compete with anyone. I think we've shown that in the last sort of since Denmark Open. So yeah, we're obviously really happy with how everything's going.
You know, just butt in there, but you know, I think it might be a little bit like of confidence for us, because obviously Ben spoke about the All England last year, and it was like we didn't feel like we were at that, like we weren't really competing with them. We lost quite easily, and we were actually playing like an okay game for us. It wasn't like we went on and played terrible and got like hammered. But then you go up against like top 10s and win, and it's like the stuff you take from that for us has been like crazy. Just like, because now we go up against anyone and feel like, yeah, we've got a chance.
But when I look at you guys, I see first and foremost, of course, two professional athletes, but also knowing that you guys have been playing since you were born, so to speak, right? How does that affect the connection between you, that you have known each other for so long, Sean? Maybe first for you here, is this a friendship like I have with my friends who I do not work with, or is it a professional relationship and that's it, or how can we frame this?
Yeah, so it's like what Ben said. We met each other when we were like literally, as far as I can remember, I've known Ben. That's the thing, and it's like we've always been good friends. And it's like yesterday I was talking to one of the other guys from Badminton in Europe, and I was just saying, like, because we're so close off court as well, and it's like that professional relationship has almost been taken to another level, because it's like we can say whatever we want to each other, and we know because we're good friends it doesn't matter. And if Ben doesn't like something I'm doing, he'll just say it, like this isn't good enough, this.
But doesn't that also give the effect of saying, okay, if you see something that Sean doesn't, if something you do in the room, on court, wherever, there's also this kind of risk of saying, okay, maybe Sean gets pissed, and then it will also affect not only your relationship off court, but also the work on court.
Yeah, I think we've, like you said, we've been friends for so long, and we've also, you know, before we started playing with each other, we were like playing against each other. So it's like we've been through obviously playing against each other, now playing with each other. So like you said, it's hard to explain really, because we sat down with like our coaches, Julian and Nathan, who, you know, understand we're both very good friends off court, and they're like, so it's been something that we've worked on quite a lot. Like, you know, although we're really good friends off court, when we come into the badminton hall, we have to, like, you can't be like friends, because if something's not good enough, then you don't want to like feel, I don't want to say anything to my friend. You have to say it, because otherwise you don't get better. I think we learnt quite a lot recently, like especially now I'm only playing one event, so all my focus is on doubles. So it's like I'm not doing 50% mixed training, 50% men's training. It's all, you know, we're training together every single day, every session, twice a day. And yeah, I think we're both like a bit more mature now, whereas if something's not good, then you just say it, because it's not like, I'm not saying it because I think I'm better than Sean at that. I'm saying it because I want both of us to win. Like, it's not like I'm trying to get one up or anything like that. I just want to get better.
It also works both ways, to be honest, because if something we're doing is really good, it's like you're more than happy to say it, because it's just like, if I can, I'll just fill you with confidence and whatever. So there is obviously two sides to it, but it's always a positive thing.
Yeah, you are the younger guys. Not that you're that young actually, but because you have been on not only national training, but you've also been around like for some years now. But of course, when we look at the players in the English national team, it's like a gap between a bit of age, but also in terms of what they have tried before, Marcus and Chris, compared to you guys. You are the newer generation compared to these ones. How is it to know that, okay, they are still here, we're competing probably only for one spot at the Olympics. At the Commonwealth Games, we might actually compete together for England. How is that, Ben, to know that you're actually aiming to take a position they have right now, but they're actually still here? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think, like you said, of course we're competing, because we're competing with everyone. We're not just competing with Marcus and Chris, we're competing with the younger guys in England as well, because they want to get better than us. But I think it's more of a bigger picture. You know, I don't feel like I'm competing against Marcus and Chris, because in theory we're all competing against the rest of the world. And like, I don't think in my training I want to beat Marcus and Chris. I think I want to beat the number one in the world. Like, I don't train and think, you know, I want to just be better than the English, because I don't think being best in your country is, you know, it's not satisfying really, is it? You know, you want to win all. I go on to every match wanting to win. I go to every tournament wanting to win. So it's like, I know we're competing with them and against them, but it's also like, I never really see it like that, because I think we're as a country, we should also aim to compete and beat everyone outside of England. Yeah, like you said, well, of course, there's definitely only going to be one spot at the Olympics. But me and Sean, we were saying the other day, I know Olympic qualifying is stressful for everyone, but I've never really gone to a tournament and thought, this is an Olympic qualifying tournament. You know, it's just, at the end of the day, you go to a tournament because it's your job and you want to play and you want to win. It's not, take the Olympics out of the equation, you're still going to play the tournaments. So I never really thought of it as, this is an Olympic year, or this is because it's just the same as any other year.
Can it be a satisfying year if you're not qualifying for Tokyo, Sean?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you'd have said to us in 2020, just before the Olympics, you've got a sniff of going, I would have said that we hadn't at all, because clearly back then they were better than us, and it was like, well, they're easily going to the Olympics. But you know, like now it's like it's almost is it a conversation where we might have a sniffer going now, because you know they're ranked higher than us on the Olympic ranking, but you know, it's a criteria and it's a selection process. But going back to the question you asked, it's definitely a satisfying year, because we've found our feet almost. And it's like, we're not going to the Olympics, like if we were to go to the Olympics, it's not like we're going to go, yeah, this is going to be like our final tournament of the year and we're going to go for it and then just relax after. It's like we have so much more plans after July, August time to go and win tournaments and prove ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. I think like Sean said, is if we go to the Olympics or not, you know, we're like 23 or 24. We want to go to 2 more Olympics. It's like we don't just think it's the end of it's not the end of the world if we don't go to this one, because like Sean said, I think it's in August, right, or July. So late July. So like Sean said, then straight after the Olympics, we're going to then go to Asia in September. So it's not like we're going to have an Olympics and then have like 3 months. We went to the Olympics. Let's have some rest. We want to go back out there and start playing again. The Olympics now is very short term. Obviously, our plan with our coaches is really long term. It's like not about the next 6 months. It's about the next like 10 years. So yeah, like Sean said it as well. It's not down to us at all. As both pairs have qualified, it's just a selection. That's totally down to our association. We have no say in that.
Well, let's play with the idea of Sean and Ben that you guys are not going. Will you be happy to see Marcus and Chris on court, or will you be?
Yeah, for sure.
Or will it hurt a bit?
No, not at all.
I definitely wouldn't ever feel any hurt sort of inside, because if they go, then great. Our whole program, we need to win medals. It's not like if Marcus and Chris go, I don't want them to win a medal. I want them to win a medal, because we need medals in England in order to get funding. Without their, I know they won a medal in 2016, but a couple of months after, we lost all of our government funding. So we don't want that to happen again. So whoever goes, if it's Marcus and Chris, if it's Marcus and Lauren, we want them to win a medal, because we need it for the next 4 years.
It's the bigger picture here.
It's definitely, we'll go back to the whole picture, because like you say, if we'd be bitter, it's like we're not looking at it properly, because hopefully we've got another 2 Olympics to go. Yeah, it's like I can't see, I could be wrong, but like Chris and Marcus carrying on for another 3-4 years to come, So I feel like there will become a time we're just gonna take the top spot anyway. Just even if they're better, it's just due to like everyone gets old and retires. You know what I mean? So, but no, it's all whatever. It is what it is, and whoever goes, I'm sure they'll be cracking on doing their best.
Ben, you mentioned it before, no 50-50 for you anymore. A couple of years ago now, actually, time flies. Yeah. You decided to quit the mixed double to go all in on men's double. Was that the right call?
Yeah, I can't even remember what, COVID comes and it takes a year out of your life. So I think it was 2019, the end of the year. So I mean, I literally we have our annual meetings with our coaches. I went in thinking, okay, this is just going to be a general chat. I'd no conversation before about stopping mixed. And they just said to me, look, we so hard now. Badminton, it's changed over the last 5 years even, since Nathan played. So hard playing 2 events, and to when you're competing with China, Malaysia, Indonesia, who I'd say 90% of them are all playing 1 event. So that you can't spread your training out over 2 events, because it is so different. I know it's the doubles events, but it's like for mixed, for me, I'm a rear court player. For men's, I'm like a net player. So it's like I need to, when I'm training 50-50, it's going to take you maybe an extra couple of, if you get there playing 2 events, an extra couple of years. So I think it definitely was, at the time, even I was like, is it the right call? But looking back now, I think it was the best decision, for sure.
I assume that you are pretty satisfied with the decision, Sean?
If I'm in all honesty, it was a bit weird for me as well, because like Ben said about this, the meetings we have, and I got called into my meeting and Ben was in there, and it was like, oh yeah, it's just totally random. Ben's just playing doubles now. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't have anything, you know what I mean? It was totally just like a ton of bricks. So I didn't expect it or anything, but I don't know, I felt like because they were doing well, it was a bit of a blow maybe to them. And I was like, okay, I wasn't sure whether at the time it was we could have just stayed the same level or even got no better. So I think it was a risk. Obviously, for me, it's like when you're training, how can you compete against the absolute best when they're just let's say someone's a net player in men's, yeah, like Ben is, and they're just doing net all of their training, and it's just their focus is around that. And then we come up and play, and then we've been doing it 50% of the time, and they're already better than us. So how hard is that to win? And it's still so hard to win.
Yeah, I think like Sean said, it's like at the time, because we're, like you said, we're great friends off court. I hadn't even mentioned to Sean about stopping mixed. You know, this was just like obviously it wasn't a decision that was made straight away. It was like, think about it. But you know, I do really trust that the two coaches that we work with, like we've worked with Nathan for like ages now, 4 or 5 years now, and then Julian, who's taken like a role in us the last couple of years as well. And I do really trust him because obviously Nathan knows what it's like to be there. I know the game
Pretty much been there.
Yeah, I know the game's changed a lot, and he played 2 events, but he also then at certain times only played 1 event. So it's like you have to trust the people you're working with as well. So it was a risk, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like a gamble, because I didn't think I'm gambling here, just going to play 1 event. It was like a calculated decision where it was like Sean said, if I'm playing against an Indonesian who's doing men's doubles every single day, and I'm doing the morning session with Sean and the afternoon session with Jess, you can't compete with them. It's too hard. It's just.
But let's also be fair to say there was also one left behind. You and Jess were winning basically the same tournaments at the same time as you won in the men's doubles. How was it for you to leave her behind? You won medals at the juniors, European championships. You actually did some good work. Now she's actually the one shuffling partners at the moment, actually not seeming to actually find that partnership of hers yet.
Yeah, I think like you said, I've played with Jess just as long as I've played with Sean. So it's like it's never an easy decision, and it's like a decision that I think was based around a lot of like you said, the results were the same. We won Belgium mixed, and me and Sean won men's, but it was like comes to a point where you have to, like for her as well, she wanted someone who was just playing mixed doubles. And it was like, I don't want to quit men's, but it's such a hard decision to make, like you said. But I never felt like I was almost leaving her behind, because there's still plenty of very good mixed guys in England. But like you said, it takes time. COVID hit, so we lost in England. We didn't train for 3 months, so it did come at a bad time, because like you said, it was end of 2019. We had 3 months, and then we were out for another 3 months. It was like, it was a lot of uncertainty for Jess. But I think they're doing great now.
2 minutes left on the clock, guys. Of course, this is recorded late April 2021. Will be published over the summer at some point. So there can be a lot happening in between our talk and the publishing time. But Sean, what is the big 2021 goal for you and Ben?
I'd like to get a medal here at the Europeans. I think that has been a fairly big goal, and ideally I'd like it to be silver or gold. But going away from here, I think we want to really try and take our game to the next level, keep improving at the rate we have been over the last year. And I think, I'd be probably disappointed if we didn't get to the latter stages of a big event again.
Semi-finals, finals we're talking about here?
Yeah, up for like a 500 plus, something like that. If we just went to them and started crashing out first, second round, I feel I'd probably be disappointed, because you've got a little taste of what it's like, and yeah, we don't want to lose that at all. So a bit of that in there, and also a nice holiday if possible, because we didn't get any last year. So yeah, I'd like to have a bit of time away as well.
Guys, thank you very much for stopping by the podcast. I appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck for 2021 and also, of course, onwards. Thanks for watching the show, and remember to follow the guys on social media. There's no such thing as too few followers. And of course, you can also follow Badminton Europe if you like. Thanks for joining the podcast.